Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Katie Greifeld.
In today's trade, almost an even number of winners and losers, if I may say it that way. 227 names in the S&P 500 gaining in the Friday trade, Emily, 276 to the downside.
Yeah, and we take a look at the circle here. You only had 5 of the major S&P sectors, 5 of the 11 in the green today, and the outsized move was actually in real estate, a 1.2% move for that group higher. And we should just point out the second best gainer in that area was industrials, and that was only half of those gains. Tech not doing anything on the day, healthcare in the red.
All right, guys, let's get to some of the individual gainers, if I may, in today's session. Got to talk about semiconductors again, some outperformance there in the trade. ASML holding, Morgan Stanley laying out its bullish case for why investors should buy the stock, saying in the most optimistic scenario, the stock has a 70% rally ahead as chip makers ramp up spending to meet soaring demand for artificial intelligence. So you saw ASML up about 2% in the trade. And I got to mention semiconductors. They continue to be on a tear. They, as a group overall, most names in that index higher. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index up more than 1% in today's session. All right, let's go to AST Space Mobile. Shares soaring in today's session. You saw that one up about 14%, up 19% at its highs intraday. But again, outperformance there. The satellite internet company was given prime contract position for the U.S. Missile Defense Agency's SHIELD program, something the president has talked about. It is connected, of course, to his Golden Dome effort. Stock up about 60% year to date, 17%, of the float is short. But again, some outperformance. Want to mention
What is the Golden Dome?
Well,
what?
you know. Yeah.
I don't know.
To protect in terms of missiles coming in.
Oh.
And this idea of like fighting back.
He knows.
I must have been off.
He knows. He's just being
Romaine.
Romaine.
Why do you do this to me? Okay. Moving along.
I think they cut your mic, Romaine.
ImmunityBio, ticker is IBRX. That one up. Check it out, guys. Up almost 40% in today's session. It's a $5.2 billion market cap company extending its advance for an 11th straight session. It's a record streak. Company giving efficacy results from a clinical cancer trial for patients with a type of cancer that affects the lymphatic system. So really some outperformance there based on that trial. And I got to talk a little bit about the power sector. Talking about it all day. I'm sure you guys have as well today. President Trump moving to make tech giants pay for surging power costs. Analysts have been trying to figure out the winners and losers in here. And GE Vernova was certainly one, maker of natural gas turbines. Analysts seeing this as one of the winners. And you saw GE Vernova up more than 6% in today's session. Now to the losers. What?
Oh, she said losers and pointed right at me.
No,
that's okay. I'm glad you ended with GE Vernova because that's exactly where I want to start. We saw some stocks move lower as a result of this move from the White House. Constellation Energy Group, look at this. At the bottom of the S&P 500, down 9.8%. Worst performer. We've been talking about this all day. That move that caused GE Vernova shares to move higher caused some of the large power generation companies to move lower. Supply and demand here. If more power is available, if there is more supply, then prices could drop and, these companies would not benefit as a result. But Josh Saul on our program earlier reminding us this type of thing years out. Infrastructure takes a very long time to be built in the U.S., but still, this is the immediate share reaction that we saw. Also, the Mosaic company shares falling today. This after the company reported a significant decline in North American fertilizer demand in the fourth quarter of 2025. Phosphate sales volume fell at about 1.3 million tons. Shares falling today by about 4.5%. And finally, looking at DraftKings and Flutter Entertainment, the publicly traded companies in the sports betting industry. DraftKings falling 8%, Flutter, the parent company of FanDuel, down 6.3% today. This after weekly data from the New York State Gaming Commission showed that the revenue from online sports gambling fell during the NFL's wild card weekend. It typically attracts more bettors to games. This decline comes at the same time the volume of sports wagers on competing prediction market platforms grows. You don't just bet on the new Fed share, Romaine.
Bet on the new Fed share.
On Polymarket.
Yeah, I don't do that.
You bet on NFL outcomes too, I
You're
guess.
betting on when Taylor's going to
bet
get. How many people Taylor invites to her wedding? Is that what you're betting on?
You bet on how many times Romaine is going to interrupt Carol.
Oh,
I have no idea what
simulcast.
either one of you are talking about. Just root for the Bears
Taylor
this weekend.
Swift.
Taylor Swift. Okay, because you threw me off there. You're talking about a different
Emily,
Taylor.
thank
And I was like,
you
I don't
for
know.
being
I was
with
like-
it.
I was like, by the way,
The wedding of the year.
Yeah, the wedding of the year. Yes, thank you, T-Wigs. Yields. Can we get to yields here? They moved
Please,
higher. And that is
please.
significant here because we talk about a market that overall seems to think that through the course of this year, yields will move lower, but at least for right now, moving higher on the day and on the week.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.